Hi, my name is Quilala, and I'm with Jesus Culture, and you're watching Movie Guide. Jesus Culture started in youth group, so I have a huge heart for the youth and young adults and such. And it was funny when our ministry sort of shifted from being a young adult ministry or a youth ministry. Now it's we're starting to feel old, but we started in the late 1900s. I joke about, but we just have a huge heart for this generation, and God's doing some amazing things. I know some people say it may seem hopeless or. But we've see the opposite. When we tour, we just see such a passion in the youth. They're so hungry for God. They're so hungry for something real, and it's amazing when we worship how God shows up. Whether they're listening to an album, we get testimonies all the time of just how these young people are impacted by God through music and through worship and I've just been so blessed to be a part of that. But I have 3 kids myself, and so it's just, for me, it feels like a really big responsibility to be an example, to lead the way and point people to Jesus, and so remind them of who He is. And worship and music and songwriting is just an amazing way that we get to do that. So Fierce, it was amazing. We wrote that song in about an hour. My friend Mia Fields came in with Josh Silverberg, amazing friends of mine, and she came in. I have this title, Fierce. We have about an hour to write because I'm going to write with someone else. And so we just started talking about what does the love of God look like to us, and how we encountered it. And for us, the picture that came to mind was the story of the prodigal son, who had, sort of squandered his wealth, left his family's home, left his father, and at the end of his rope thought, maybe I can come back and at the very least be a servant. Maybe they'll find a place for me somewhere as a servant. And so when he came home, he encountered the exact opposite. He encountered a father that was that ran to him, put a robe around him, put a ring on his finger. And I think that's just an amazing picture of the love of God, that no matter where we're at, no matter what we've done, He's right there for us, and we can't run too far, and he brings us back and accepts us just as we are. So for me, that was, for us as we were writing it, that was just the imagery that we were seeing, is God just, no matter where you're at, His love's there. It's fierce. Miracles is another one that I wrote with my friend Josh, that I wrote Fierce with, and a couple other people. And for me, just to give a brief, history, my wife and I, we were pregnant with our third. We found out it was a boy, and we had 2 girls already. And so, we were so excited. And then just after Thanksgiving in 2014, we were celebrating with some friends up in Redding, a couple hours away from Sacramento. And my wife said, I haven't felt a heartbeat. I haven't felt a kick. And so we went to the ER, and sure enough, there was no heartbeat. And in that moment, they're like, you can deliver here, or you can go back home to Sacramento. And we're like, well, we have some friends here. Let's stay, and let's believe that God will do a miracle. And so we began to pray. We had people praying with us, and we were really believing that God would bring our son back to life. And that didn't happen. And so even in the hospital room, like, what now? We were confused. We were shocked. Even in the hospital room, though, we started to worship, and that's what we knew what we need to do. Singing songs like "Great Is Your Faithfulness" and different things like that. And so for us, it was a choice we had to make, even though we had all these questions like, God, why? And I think because we took that stance that, God, we're going to still declare that You are good, that You're faithful. And the song, go back to the song Miracles, that You are the miracle working God. I've seen You move before. You are the God of the impossible. Just because my situation, our circumstance, we didn't see the outcome that we had necessarily prayed for or believed for, that doesn't change who You are, and my response shouldn't change. So for us, that Miracles was a song that I had to write to remind myself that God is, He is the God that heals the sick, that raises the dead, that He's the God of the impossible. And so, yeah, and we've had some, Carrie just covered that, Carrie Job on her last album, and her sister had lost their, it was a stillborn, lost their baby, and so, and Levi Lesko, and so, it's just, for us, it was a song that we wrote in pain, but God has sort of been able to use that and bring hope to people in whatever circumstance or situation they're going through. And it's just been a real blessing to hear people's testimonies, how they've been ministered through it. So.
you.